Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many of you fly the Stars and Stripes out on your front porch or in your front yard? Maybe have one hanging up in your garage or, I don't know, your prep room, something like that. You've got the American flag flying around. Probably a lot of us, okay? Most preppers are pretty patriotic. How many of you have the flag of the country that your ancestry is? Okay. I mean, my background is Polish and Czech. You guys know that. Never, ever, ever in my life have I ever flown the Polish flag or the Czech flag at my house. Ever. Okay. I've flown other flags, the Gadsden flag, the POWMIA flag, a U.S. Army flag, a Donald Trump flag. I've flown those, always in their proper position beneath the American flag, because the Stars and Stripes is the flag of the symbol of this country. Yet with everything going on in Los Angeles here, we'll talk about this again, okay? It seems that the Mexican flag is now being used as a protest symbol to bring people together in a land of illegals. Okay. We now have the New York Times, the uber-liberal New York Times, and the President of Mexico encouraging Mexicans to fly the Mexican flag in California. Not even the California state flag, which again would be in a position underneath the American flag. No, don't fly the American flag, don't fly the California flag, fly the Mexican flag. No. There is no law in this country that prohibits somebody flying the flag. The Mexican flag, the Palestinian flag, the Israeli flag. Hell, you could fly the North Korean flag if you want. You're allowed. Okay. There's no law that says you can't. Maybe there should be. Just my opinion. It's funny that we now have the liberal media encouraging people to protest against the country that gives them the right to exist. Freedom of the press, right? The First Amendment. That's what ABC, NBC, CBS, the New York Times all exist because of that. If it wasn't for the First Amendment, hey, we could be like Soviet Russia and just have Pravda, and that would be it. Government news is all you get. You don't get freedom of the press. You don't get the ability to say your piece. No. So these mouthpieces that exist only because of the United States are actively suggesting that people disrespect the United States. Somebody make that logic make sense to me, please. Okay. It gets worse. Claudia Sheinbaum, okay, again, the president of Mexico, is now encouraging illegals to join the protests in Los Angeles, to protest against the United States. Why? Well, I've told you before, the second largest contributor to the Mexican GDP is money sent by Mexican nationals from the United States to Mexico. The Mexican economy collapses if it isn't for US dollars being sent over there, right? Juan comes over here to work mowing lawns or doing construction, cleaning pools, whatever. for the summer, picking strawberries. And he sends his paycheck back to Maria, back in Mexico City. And it gets spent in the Mexican economy. Well, what Claudia Sheinbaum is all pissed off about is the U.S. wants to start taxing remittances to Mexico. And her answer is, we, the United States, has no right whatsoever to tax illegals on wages they've earned illegally from sending it to another country. I mean, if you look at how the money is sent to Mexico, most of it goes via Western Union. Western Union pretty much exists to send money to Mexico, all right? Take that out of their business model and the company ceases to exist. When's the last time you Western Union moneyed anybody? You don't. You Zelle it or Venmo it or PayPal it or whatever, right? But you got to have a bank account for that. Kind of hard to get a bank account in the United States if you're here illegally. So the U.S. wants to tax this. This is Claudia Sheinbaum's response.
Because if necessary, we will mobilize, because we do not want taxes on remittances from our compatriots in the United States to Mexico.
So she's calling for them to mobilize, right? So what does that usually mean? I don't know. Join protests? Join riots? I mean, what honestly does she think they're going to do? Stand and scream outside the Western Union office? That's not going to do anything. Western Union's got to do, you want to send the money, you fill out the paperwork, it goes, right? That's it. And if Western Union has to pay, just make it up, a $10 tax on any remittance, guess what? Western Union is going to charge you the $10 tax. So how does she plan on doing this? Oh, we need to go protest. We need to force the U.S. government to do our bidding. We need to make California Mexico again. It's coming, guys. All right. You look at the hellhole that coastal California is. Send your kids to school there. Half the classes, they've got to teach in Spanish as well as in English because the kids don't speak English. Press 1 for Spanish, press 2 for English. Walk into a store and nobody speaks English. English is the national language of the United States. California, not so much, okay? And you can bet this is going to continue to other states. There's an easy solution here, really. And maybe our members of Congress could take this one up. And it's more than just talk. We don't need to stop welfare or food stamps for illegals. We need to stop it altogether. I know that's a radical thought. The only people who are allowed to collect food stamps are people who have paid into a Social Security fund in their life, okay? Or who, because of some sort of physical only ailment, they cannot work. That is it. The end. I told you this morning, Mexicans are very hardworking people. There's no question about that. You've all seen it, okay? They will work from dawn till dusk and then some. But there's too many that come over here that think they are entitled to what the U.S. has to offer. Well, you know what? I'll go work under the table, get slipped their $50 or $100 for picking strawberries or painting houses during the day, and then go claim I don't have any income, so I need housing assistance and I need food assistance, whatever. This country was built on work. The Pilgrims didn't come over here. The original colonies didn't come over and go, what can the government give me, right? We don't have that anymore. People that come to this country don't have that anymore. And we're watching other countries try to dictate what we do. Zelensky tries to tell the United States what we have to do. Claudia Sheinbaum's telling us what we need to do. The EU's telling us what we need to do. Who the hell do you think you are telling us what we need to do? Let me tell you what we need to do. We need to cut off everything to everybody. I don't want to see taxes on remittance to Mexico. I want to see them stopped altogether. Sorry, no longer can Western Union remit money to Mexico. Don't say it isn't possible. Try sending money to Russia. You can't do it. It's as easy as a freaking switch. Shut it off. What happens then? Claudia Sheinbaum would be on her knees trying to beg for something because her economy would implode in about 48 hours. We need to stop all this Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, New York Times bullshit of kowtowing to the rest of the world. Make America great again is exactly that. We put this country first, not everybody else. And it's about time that the National Guard, the LAPD, ICE, really start flexing some muscle. Start taking these people in and don't let them out. We got plenty of room at Guantanamo. That's where we need to start shipping people. You don't like it? You don't want to go to Guantanamo? Don't come here. Pinball out.